This is the love story of Mei and Drew, two superstars in the contest arena. One is heralded as the Princess of Hoenn, while the other I like to call as the Prince of Roses. Together, their duo is known as ContestShipping. ContestShipping's Japanese name, Shuhara, is a reference to Drew and Mei's Japanese names, Shu and Haruka. This ship has sailed through Hoenn, Kanto, and Johto, each time becoming stronger and better. Mei and Drew have a special, one-of-a-kind rivalry, bond, and perhaps budding romance. Welcome to the 6th entry in my series of videos that talk about Pokemon anime ships. With that being said, let's talk about 10 moments that best display Mei and Drew's blooming relationship. Let's go all the way back to when Mei and Drew first met. As Mei is practicing Frisbee for an upcoming contest with Beautifly, she misses to catch her third disc, which gives us one of the coolest rival entrances in the entire anime. This green-haired guy calls Mei's style as cheesy and saying that she has no finesse and no moves. He introduced himself as Drew and reveals that he's gonna enter the Slateport contest just like Mei. Drew then shoos them away, saying that this private beach is only reserved for people like him. But that's not the end of it, because their paths cross again later when Torchic gathers some Bluckberries. When the branch snaps, Drew manages to catch it. Mei then insists that he return the Bluckberry branch, and Drew agrees on one condition, that they battle first. At the beginning of their match, Drew's Roselia gains the upper hand against Mei's Beautifly, but as Beautifly starts turning the tables, Team Rocket steals the Bluckberries from them. This puts the battle into a halt, as now it's a chase to retrieve the berries. Pikachu's electric attacks don't work on Team Rocket's electricity absorbing satellite, but good thing Drew is here and calls on Roselia to use Solar Beam, destroying Team Rocket's satellite, eventually leading to their blast off and Mei retrieving the Bluckberries. This was Drew's first sign of showing a level of care for Mei and her Torchic, and Mei's perception of Drew has definitely deepened from just this arrogant coordinator. Mei sends her thanks, and Drew tells her that they'll continue their battle on the contest stage. The contest day soon comes, and after Drew's amazing appeal stage, it's Mei's turn. But backstage, Drew taunts her, saying that he's cheering for her to at least make it to the battle stage, perhaps so they can continue their battle. After Mei's performance, Drew hands her a red rose, the first of many. Mei thanks Drew for his thoughtful gift, but he says that the rose is for Beautifly after pulling off a good performance, whereas the trainer still has a lot of training to do. Mei barely makes it, and she's matched against Drew in the very first round. Drew is confident he'll win, and during the first official battle, Drew's Roselia outclasses Mei's Beautifly in every way, shape, and form, ultimately leading to Beautifly unable to battle. This loss makes Mei cry, but after seeing Drew lose to Robert in the next round, it makes her realize that there's always someone better. As Drew leaves the contest stadium, Mei runs to him, saying that the next time she won't be the loser. Drew then responds that he's going to be stronger by then too, and so Mei and Drew have officially kickstarted their multi-region rivalry. It isn't long until Mei and Drew meet each other again. This time it's the Fall Arbor contest, and as Mei and Beautifly are struggling to practice, Drew comes over and insults her combination and calls her indecisive. Drew then tosses her a rose and tells her that the only reason he came over was to see her Beautifly. Annoyed, Mei asks him to leave, causing Drew to sarcastically question how many ribbons she's got, even if he already knew that Mei still has none. Mei fights back, asking how many ribbons Drew has got, only for her to be shocked to see that Drew has 3. During the contest, Mei and Drew both give amazing appeal performances, which easily advance them to the battle stage, alongside Grace and Jessie. In the battle stage, Mei's battle with Jessie quickly ends in a win for Mei, but as for Drew versus Grace, it surprises everyone how Drew gets bodied here. Grace's Metachamp dominates the battle, losing no points and takes Roselia out of the match. So with Grace as her final opponent, Mei and Beautifly give it their best shot, which ultimately ends in them winning the ribbon. Not only did Mei win her first ribbon, but she also defeated the person who beat Drew. This perhaps earned her some respect points from Drew, which is why after the contest, Drew shows up to congratulate Mei and toss her a rose.
I suppose this rose is for Beautifly, right?
Yeah, something like that.
This really is the first moment in the anime where contest shipping feels like something that could go the distance instead of just being a simple fan shipping. Later on in a street battle, Drew and Roselia are seen getting humbled by this masked guy called Phantom. Turns out Phantom is also a coordinator and is participating in the same contest as Mei. Drew decides to sit this one out due to Roselia's injuries, but he still watches the contest from the sidelines. Throughout the contest, Drew is clearly rooting for Mei, but he's also critical evaluating Mei's confidence and skills. He's also impressed every time Mei does some valiant moves on stage. In the end, Mei avenges Drew by defeating Phantom, though Drew tries his hardest to brush off his joy for Mei by saying she just lucked out the win, but still, he cared enough to watch the entirety of her contest. Then one day our heroes witness Drew on the top of a cliff pulling off what looks like a dazzling contest performance. They learn that Drew has already won 5 ribbons, whereas Mei only has 4. Drew warns Mei that there's only one contest left to join, so she has to win that one. So as a warm-up for both of them, Mei and Drew decide to have a practice battle. It's Mei's Beautifly versus Drew's Masquerain, and both Pokemon are shown to pull off some excellent moves. But Team Rocket interrupts the battle once again, causing everyone to get sucked into their Magikarp machine. Then when Max accidentally pushes the Hyper Turbo engine switch, everyone gets blasted off into this island and into separate groups. As a result, May and Drew are stuck together, just the two of them. Turns out this place is famous for lychee berries, which are said to be the best berries for Pokeblocks. They soon meet a man named Roderick, who is also a former coordinator. He guides them around the island and helps them reunite with their friends. But when Drew sees some lychee berries growing by a cliff, he and May go to check it out, only for the cliff to collapse. May tries to save Drew, and they hold hands for the first time. Unfortunately, May's other hand slips from Bellsprout's vines, causing both of them to fall into the river, leading to a waterfall. But after the torrential descent, Drew becomes unconscious. Good thing May is there to save him. This scene reminds me a lot of that one Pokeshipping scene in the movie. As May is losing strength to pull themselves out of the current, a group of Wynot appear to the rescue and save both May and Drew. The baby Pokemon bring them to their cave, and as Drew regains consciousness, the first thing he sees is May's face. And in that cave, May and Drew share some quality time with the Wynot, eating some lychee berries, and just enjoying the presence of each other amidst their sticky situation. And then Team Rocket strikes again, stealing all the lychee berries, which results in May getting sucked in as well. But thanks to the Wynot, Drew boldly slides down the Wynot slide to save May and the berries. He calls on Roselia, who frees May from Team Rocket's grasp. May and Drew are soon reunited with the gang, and their joint power duo blasts Team Rocket off into the sky. Roderick even notes how it's the most amazing double silver win he's ever seen. May and Drew then leave the island together and part ways at some point, but this time with a better connection and understanding of each other. May does win her final contest, so she gets to compete in the Hoenn Grand Festival alongside Drew. He congratulates her with his signature rose, but not without exchanging banters like they always do.
What? I'm here, and if that's not enough proof...
I do respect you for your enthusiasm.
Then when Harley shows up, he notices the beautiful red rose she's holding and instantly deduces that it came from Drew. Harley is all of us at this moment and jokes that there's something romantic between May and Drew, which only makes May blush. In addition, Harley apologizes for what he did to May in their previous contest together. May is initially skeptical about this, but after Harley's repeated cozying up to May, he soon gains her trust. Meanwhile, Drew watches from afar, being wary of Harley's intentions. Harley suggests that May use Beautifly Silverwind as her only attack in the first appeal stage, but Drew interrupts, saying that it's a bad idea as it doesn't show a good level of flexibility and strategy. This shows us that Drew does care about May's success in the contest. Still, May listens to the pusher Harley, and his advice ends up working for May, scoring her high points, which only means Harley's now got May's utmost trust, but Drew can see through Harley's plan and only watches him even more carefully. Harley then manipulates May into using only Skitty's assist in the second appeal stage, which she blindly complies. Being the most unpredictable move in her arsenal, Skitty's assist results in both good and bad moments for May in front of the judges. Backstage, Harley gloats over May's blunders, which only confirms the suspicions of Drew, who still watches Harley from behind. Drew confronts Harley and defends May, and he exposes to her the evil intentions of the Cacturn Man. When Harley leaves, Drew gives May a taste of his tough love, but aggressively tells her to stop taking advice from other people and instead trust her Pokemon and what her heart believes is right. Drew dominates the appeal stage, but good thing May still advances despite the setback. May even learned something from watching Drew's performances, to find a way to let one's Pokemon's own appeal shine through. I can't believe she's come this far in her contest journey and is only learning this basic principle now. In the battle stage, May manages to win her way to the quarterfinals, where she's matched against Drew. The last time they battled on a contest stage, May didn't stand a chance. This time, however, May does stand a little chance. But a little chance isn't enough to defeat one of the powerhouses of the competition. It's ironic how Harley started out as the one who wanted to take May out of the competition, with his plans getting foiled by Drew, only for Drew to be the one to end May's run in the Grand Festival. But one thing's for sure, after this, May and Drew's connection, their rivalry, friendship, and perhaps love only continues to grow even deeper. After the Grand Festival, May and Drew meet up by the beach, and Drew tells her that he hopes to see her in next year's Grand Festival. He then compliments her, saying she was good in the competition, and tells her to take care, leaving May speechless.
You two here on the beach, how romantic!
Oh, he's just a friend!
In the end, Drew helps May realize that she can become an even better coordinator as long as she trains harder, which only fuels May's dreams of becoming a top coordinator. May and Drew's journeys are soon intertwined again in Kanto, where May aims to participate in the Chrysanthemum contest. Drew is here too, but he says that he and his Pokemon are too tired to join another contest, so they're just here to do some R&R. But in her previous contest, May received a mysterious rose and letter from someone saying they look forward to meeting her in the Chrysanthemum contest. Like any rational person, one would think that these came from Drew, so May asks Drew if he sent her this letter. He answers that it's not really his style, so he denies it just before blushing.
Come on, that's not my style. You should know that.
We should, huh?
Turns out this letter was sent by a girl named Brianna, who is a huge fan of Drew. May meets Brianna and brings her to Drew as he enjoys his bask in the sun. Brianna is both excited and shy to meet her coordinator idol, but she also apologizes to him for bringing him into this mess by forgetting to write her own name in the letter. But Drew sarcastically responds that it's May who made a mistake. But May retaliates, saying that it made sense to assume it was Drew who sent the letter because he's really the only one who gives her a rose.
Like that, Mr. Rose.
Mr. Rose?
Rosalia.
Rosalia.
When Drew leaves, Brianna tells May that as a fan of Drew, she knows that May is the only female coordinator who Drew has respect for. Except that's false because we all know Drew has a huge amount of respect for Soledad. Brianna aims to defeat May in this contest to earn Drew's respect as well. Throughout the contest, Drew watches May carefully, being quite critical of her decisions. Backstage, May tells Brianna that this contest is her time to show Drew that she's a winner. Brianna then figures out that May's relationship with Drew may be more than just a contest, but May awkwardly denies, saying they're just rivals. Brianna then boldly asks May if she likes Drew. This makes May blush as she responds that she's never really thought about it. But after May defeats Brianna in the final round, the boy meets them by the beach, where Drew tells May that she got lucky whilst complimenting Brianna's skills. This makes Brianna faint, and during this time, Drew calls for May's attention and reminds her that there's 2 more ribbons. 2 more ribbons left before they could finally meet in the Grand Festival again. May blushes once more before Drew leaves, perhaps having given thought of the true feelings for Mr. Rose. Now let's fast forward to Mulberry Town, the site of Kanto's final contest before the Grand Festival. The pressure is on for May because this is her last chance to earn her 5th ribbon and make it into the festival. Harley, who's already won 5 ribbons, is here too, determined to prevent May from getting her pivotal win. So he works with Team Rocket behind the scenes to sabotage May's contest performances and help Jessie win instead. Now, James and Meowth soon trap the boys in the cage to remove some nuisances in Harley's plan. Good thing Drew is here too and notices Team Rocket's suspicious actions, so he manages to follow them and free Ash, Brock, and Max from the cage and proceeds to urgently tell them to hurry back because May's in big trouble. Backstage, Drew confronts Harley about all his shenanigans, and the purple-haired dude comes clean and admits everything before storming off. Ash then thanks Drew for saving them, but Drew downplays this by saying that he only did it so May will have someone to cheer for her. Drew and the boys then head back to the bleachers to watch May and Squirtle's final battle with Jessie and Harley's bayonet. The battle reaches overtime, but Drew points out that it is here where the relationship between a Pokemon and its trainers will truly show. And he's right, because May and Squirtle's bond allows them to pull out the victory and earn her 5th and final ribbon. By sunset, Drew and May meet up outside, where Drew says they'll see each other again in the Indigo Plateau for the Grand Festival. May is pumped, and as Drew leaves, she happily shouts,
Drew, I'm winning, you know!
And soon the day of the Kanto Grand Festival finally arrives. Of course, Drew is here too, as well as his old friend Soledad, who claims to be a tough cookie. Soledad's a coordinator from Pewter City, so she and Brock are acquainted with each other. She spends the dinner with May and her friends, and Soledad talks about her history with Drew and about how his very first contest loss was against her. Soledad then reveals that she's heard of many stories about May from Drew.
And at some point, he started in on you. You and only you.
Soledad then goes deeper by saying that as Drew witnessed May become stronger and stronger, he started to have feelings for her. As to what kind of feeling that is, we don't know. But Soledad's certain that after hatching a rivalry with May, Drew has gotten much more competitive. The next day comes, and during the first appeals round, May kinda plays psychological warfare with Drew and brings up what Soledad said to him about crying on his first loss. Drew's a bit infuriated, but he remains a calm exterior, saying he was just a bundle of nerves back then. They all manage to move on to the second round, where after Drew's performance with his Absol, May could sense that there's a level of dissatisfaction on his face. And then after May's performance, Harley runs to her, worried, reporting that something's wrong with Drew. When they go outside to check him out, Drew is being a bit harsh on his training with Absol. May asks what's wrong, and he says that Absol wasn't doing his Razorwind the right way in the appeal stage. As Drew leaves, May tells him that Absol did its absolute best and looked really beautiful, and it deserves a little more credit than that. And it is at this point where Drew loses it.
Me? I'm not a wimp like you!
She believes that she's not just soft because she loves and supports her Pokemon. Later that day, Soledad has a talk with May, where she says that May is starting to catch up to Drew in his contest skill, which probably threatens him. Ash and Brock then talk with Drew about his rivalry with May, and how Ash has dealt with his past rivals. Eventually, they all still make it to the battle stage, but then after May defeats Harley in the top 16, it's time for her to face Drew in the greatest battle of their lives, in what is perhaps the best Pokemon battle of the entire Pokemon franchise up to that point. May puts to use everything she's learned on her journey right on the battlefield. Drew, on the other hand, is still as top-notch as ever, but it's evident that he still carries the scars from earlier. After Flygon and Squirtle are defeated, the battle ends in a clash between Combusken and Absol, and when the timer runs out, it's May and Combusken who come out victorious. There you have it. May has finally defeated the rival she once thought was light years ahead of her. After their battle, Drew congratulates May on a wonderful performance, and they share a heartfelt handshake. Drew then warns May about Soledad's prowess, but it doesn't save her from facing the same fate Drew faced on his very first contest, which is a loss to Soledad, resulting in tears flowing down her face. During the after party, Soledad hands May a signature red rose, which of course she knows is from Drew. May rushes outside, managing to catch up and say goodbye to him. They share a long stare with each other before agreeing to see each other in another contest or something. After Ash's back-to-back losses against Brandon in the Battle Pyramid, May begins thinking about her own loss at the Grand Festival. She's having an emotional struggle in her career as a coordinator. She starts practicing contest moves with her Pokemon, then not long after, Drew shows up. In fact, May admits that she was just thinking about Drew until suddenly he appeared out of nowhere.
Were they good thoughts?
Come on, of course they were.
Drew and May then talk about their recent losses in the Grand Festival. He tries to decipher May's feelings, deduces that she's still holding on to her loss to Soledad, which made her feel unsure how to overcome her weak point. Drew then proposes a battle with May to at least help clear the air. A lot of random people show up to watch the battle, and we could tell that Drew is back to his legendary coordinator that he is because he handily defeats May this time. Despite the loss, May's spirits are lifted a little bit, and she thanks Drew for it. As the sun sets, May and Drew spend some quality time out in the open air contemplating on their contest journey. May then tells him that this battle made her realize a lot of things, and it made her want to find her own style. Drew reveals that he plans to go to the Johto region to enter some more contests, which puts May in deep thought. But as she's thinking, Harley shows up to tease these two lovebirds.
It's dangerous! 2 kids alone like this!
Come on! We were just talking!
Then after some shenanigans with Team Rocket, Harley leaves and Drew follows suit. But before leaving, he tells May that the next time they meet, he expects to see her new style. And we all know what happens next. May decides that she also wants to go to the Johto region, kickstarting a brand new contest journey of her own. Not long after parting ways with Ash and Brock, May reunites with them in Sinnoh to enter the Wallace Cup. There she talks about her contest journey in Johto and how she's recently on a losing streak. She even talks about how her rivals Drew and Harley continue to be powerhouses in the contest stage. But throughout the Wallace Cup, we see Drew together with Harley and Soledad watching May's battle. In Drew's eyes, we see the passion of support for his beloved rival and only wanting the best for her. It would have been fun if Diamond and Pearl had a Pokemon Chronicles type of spin-off that centers around May and her contest journey around Johto. That way, we'd have a lot more contest shipping moments to cover. May and Drew's rivalry is one of the best the anime has to offer. They started out rubbing each other the wrong way, and with stark contrast in skills, but throughout the series we witnessed them grow in their own, expose their flaws and weaknesses, but in the end help each other blossom into a better version of themselves. May and Drew each got each other and managed to bring out the best in each other. In total, Drew gave May 5 roses throughout the course of the series, which may represent the 5 ribbons needed to enter the Grand Festival, or 1 rose for each of the words, I love you very much. Contest shipping is perhaps one of the best ships that's closest to being canon in the Pokemon anime, and I could totally see it being a thing. For now, that is the end of the love story between the Princess of Hoenn and the Prince of Roses. Comment down below your favorite contest shipping moment, or if there's one that I missed. If you made it this far into the video, I want to say that I truly appreciate you. Leave a rose emoji in your comments so I know you're a real one, and as always, it's been your boy LUAPER, and I'm out.